Welcome to Ultimate Nerdy, where the stories you know take a twist you never saw coming. From alternate timelines to impossible crossovers, we explore the what-ifs of your favorite universes. So grab your wand, your lightsaber, or your decoder ring. And today's story is a Harry Potter story for us to enjoy, so let's go. Chapter 5. The Unseen Hand. The air over Hogwarts thickened with dread, a storm brewing beyond the castle's spires. Summer 1995. Voldemort clawed back from the grave, his skeletal frame reborn in a graveyard's cauldron, and Rubeus Hagrid felt the tug of his old curse snap taut again. The puppet danced, the wizarding world quaked, but the true lord sat by his hut's fire, sipping tea from a chipped mug, counting the dead. His beard twitched with a grin no one saw. Harry returned to Hogwarts that fall, gaunt and haunted, the lightning scar a beacon of Hagrid's unseen hand. Fifth year unraveled in chaos, Umbridge's reign, Dumbledore's exile, but Hagrid moved like a shadow through it all. "Keep your head down, Harry," he'd growl, tossing Fang a bone, while his mind churned, "The boy must break, then mend stronger." He introduced Grop, his hulking brother, not for sentiment but as a test. Harry's compassion, his grit, forged in the forest's mud. When Dumbledore fell from the astronomy tower in '96, Hagrid wept. Crocodile tears for the crowd, a bellow that shook the grounds. Behind the mask, he'd nudged Snape into place years back, a whisper through Voldemort's controlled mind. The old man's time's up. Dumbledore's trust had been Hagrid's shield. Now his death was the key. The Order rallied around Hagrid, sobbing into his coat, blind to the serpent coiled within. The map in his hut glowed under lantern light, wards weakening, tunnels widening, all for the endgame. Harry's hunt began in '97, a trio ragged and desperate, chasing shadows Hagrid had planted. The locket in its cave. Hagrid's soul shard pulsed as Harry choked on potion, Ron's blade trembling. "Poor kids," Hagrid muttered to Fang, feigning grief, while his chest hummed with the loss. 2 down, 5 to go. The cup in Bellatrix's vault fell next, Hermione's fire scorching it, and Hagrid felt the sting but laughed into his tea. Voldemort raged, sensing his anchors snap, never guessing they weren't his. Hagrid's strength shone in glimpses, too raw, too wild. At Bill and Fleur's wedding, Death Eaters struck, and Hagrid tossed one through a wall, no wand, just a roar of fury. "Giant blood," he chuckled to Tonks, who nodded, awed, missing the truth. In the forest, hunting with the Order, he snapped a snatcher's neck with a flick of his wrist, grinning as Harry gaped. "Clumsy me," he said. But the boy's eyes lingered, a crack in the trust. Nagini slithered closer to Voldemort that year, her coils a living Horcrux Hagrid had claimed after Bertha Jorkins's death. He'd visited Voldemort's lair under pretense, a creature chat, and whispered to her, giant magic binding his soul to her scales. Now she hissed his will, a pet for 2 masters, and Hagrid fed her secrets through the imperious link. Strike Harry, but not too deep. The diadem waited in the room of requirement, its gleam a taunt. Harry would find it, burn it, and think himself free. Through it all, Hagrid guided from the sidelines. "You're doing right, Harry," he'd say, clapping a massive hand on the boy's shoulder, steering him toward each Horcrux like a sheep to slaughter. The Order fought, Voldemort marched, but Hagrid's web held. His creatures prowled the grounds, his map marked the battle lines. The ring lay buried, Harry's scar throbbed, and Hagrid's soul stretched across them all, unbroken. May 1st, 1998, the eve of war. Hagrid stood over Dumbledore's tomb, the white marble cold under his fingers. "Checkmate, old man," he muttered, voice a low growl. "Now the board's mine." The castle loomed behind him, its towers silhouetted against a blood-red sky. Harry slept in the forest, hunted and hunted, while Voldemort rallied his army. Hagrid turned, his shadow stretching long, and lumbered toward the hut. Tomorrow, the puppet would fall, and the giant would rise. Chapter 6. The Fall of the Giant. The night of May 2nd, 1998, roared with fire and ruin. Hogwarts burned, towers crumbled, spells lit the sky like dying stars, and the screams of the brave mingled with the howls of the damned. Rubeus Hagrid stood amid the chaos, a colossus in the smoke, his coat singed, his eyes black as the abyss. The castle shook as Voldemort's army clashed with Harry's defenders, but Hagrid watched from the sidelines, grinning through the carnage. The real terror stood 7 feet tall, his shadow a guillotine over the battlefield. Harry faced Voldemort in the Great Hall, a circle of onlookers holding their breath. The boy's wand trembled, his scar a raw wound, but his voice rang clear. It ends now. Hagrid lingered by the shattered doors, massive arms crossed. Nagini's death, a slash from Neville's blade, still echoing in his chest. The snake had been his, not Tom's, a soul shard severed, but he'd felt Harry's scar pulse too, his unintended Horcrux, alive and defiant. The duel flared, green and red, death and defiance. Voldemort's curse rebounded, his skeletal form collapsing in a heap of robes, and the hall erupted in cheers. Hagrid's grin widened, too sharp, too wild. The puppet was dead, his imperious leash snapped, his decoy gone. The ring, diary, cup, locket, and diadem were ash, destroyed by Harry's relentless hunt. But Hagrid's soul had stretched beyond them, anchored in the boy. One last move, and the throne was his. He lumbered forward, boots crunching glass, as Harry sank to his knees, exhausted. "You did it, lad," Hagrid rumbled, voice a landslide, clapping a hand on Harry's shoulder. The crowd parted. Ron, Hermione, McGonagall, eyes red with grief and hope. Hagrid's laugh rolled out, low and guttural, and Harry looked up, green eyes narrowing. "All this time," the boy whispered, clutching his wand, a flicker of doubt breaking through. "Time for what, Harry?" Hagrid said, but his tone shifted. Gravel turned to venom. The air thickened, a pulse of wandless magic rippling from him, and the hall fell silent. Fang growled at his heels, sensing the shift, as Hagrid's mask slipped fully. "You're a good lad. Broke Tom for me. Broke 'em all. The Horcruxes? Mine, not his. Every death, every shard. Mine." Harry staggered back, wand raised, as gasps ripped through the survivors. Hermione's voice cracked. "What?" But Hagrid's laugh drowned her, a giant's bellow shaking the rafters. "Tom was me puppet, Dumbledore me shield. Yeah, Harry, ye were me hammer, and now..." He raised a hand, the air bending, a curse unspoken but alive, Imperio, reaching for Harry's mind. But Harry's scar flared, Lily's love, Hagrid's own soul shard, rebelled. The curse faltered, and Harry's Expelliarmus struck, a burst of light slamming Hagrid back. The giant roared, crashing into a pillar, stones splintering under his weight. "You can't!" he snarled, blood trickling from his brow, but he felt it. The ring's echo, the locket's hum, Nagini's hiss, all gone. Voldemort's fall had torn the web, and Harry, the last Horcrux, stood unbroken. Hagrid's body shuddered, his soul fracturing fully. Giant blood couldn't hold it now. He laughed, a broken, mad sound as cracks split his skin like dry earth. "You did it, for me," he rasped, locking eyes with Harry one last time. The boy stared, wand steady, as Hagrid crumpled, a titan felled by his own pawn. Dust settled, silence fell, and Harry whispered, "All this time." Dawn crept over the ruins, painting the sky gold. Hogwarts stood scarred but free, its true Dark Lord a heap of ash and bone. Harry turned away, the weight of betrayal sinking deep, while the survivors wept, for victory, for loss, for the giant they'd never truly known. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the unknown. What if the next twist is even darker? Hit follow and let's find out.